Hey everyone, GoBotch here, back today with a brand new episode for my Madden 20 franchise, the Dallas Cowboys. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you just all came straight from our Week 1 win over the Giants, as we are now jumping in to our upgrades. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade Zeke, who earned himself some points. We're going to go to the elusive back for him right there. But if you enjoyed the episode from last one and you enjoyed what you see here today, leave a thumbs up, comment down below with your feedback, tips, and suggestions, and hit that notification bell so you know when I go live with any content here for Madden 20. And feel free to subscribe and help us reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers. So George, he's out for 1 week with a broken thumb, it says. Sucks. And then Kyle, what's your stuff, man? You're a pass coverage guy, right outside linebacker. We'll do it. So a couple upgrades here for these guys. And now we're going to go ahead and fast forward through the week. The Cowboys with the big win. We need to answer a media question real quick before this is all done. So Jonathan Coachman, he says, many folks, including yourself, thought this team would perform better last season. How things did not come together. How do you avoid that happening again? So let's see. Start to finish, the coaching has been consistent. Leadership starts at the top, and that means the staff has to stay on pace. Again, we are playing as the owner, Steven Sterling. He is the owner of the Cowboys. We're playing with that. Staff stays on point. The players in the locker room need to stay focused on our goals. This is a playoff team. We're going to say this one, okay? We get a plus 2% roster rating for wins and -5 if we lose. So that's something that affects us right there. It's interesting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump forward after we look at the box score here for this Cowboys team. So the game that was, the Cowboys win 45-23 after putting up some big numbers there in the second and third quarter. After we were trailing going into half, or not trailing, but leading by 1 going into half. But a great game, 564 yards of total offense, 238 rushing, 326 through the air, which just outgained us by 9 yards with the Giants. We had 24 total first downs and 4 turnovers. Again, one of those, just so many fumbles. It was just crazy amount of fumbles. 6 turnovers total in the game, but 5 offensive touchdowns in the red zone and 1 field goal. And a ton of time and possessions. Was just a huge win there for the Cowboys in Week 1. As you look at the stats for both teams here, Dak Prescott, a 150.3 passers rating, 339 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. The longest pass went for 36 yards. He was sacked 4 times, but he was 26 of 32 with an 81% of completion. Very good there. But right there, not to be forgotten about, is the old 15-year experienced man of Eli Manning, the 111 passer rating, 365 yards, a touchdown, and he was sacked twice, 33 of 41 on his day. Zeke, though, went down with an injury in the second quarter, would return and finish the game. He had 24 touches for 163 yards on the ground, averaging 6.8, a touchdown, and 2 fumbles, of course, and he broke 3 tackles. Pollard, his backup, the rookie out of Memphis, 11 touches, 36 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 fumbles as well. And Zeke and Dak had his 35 yards on 4 attempts of the fumble, and there's a fumble there for Saquon Barkley, who was 11 of 34. So not bad right there all around. The fumble numbers are still something I think that need to be fixed. Now let's go to the receiving side, led by Trent Taylor, 7 touches, 98 yards, no touchdowns. Then Randall Cobb, new for the Cowboys this year, is his 9th year of experience. He had 6 catches for 95 yards, a touchdown. And then you had Shepard, was 5 of 94. Ingram, 8 for 76. Jason Witten coming back out of retirement for 4 of 75. And Amari Cooper had 3 catches, 52 yards and a touchdown. Zeke, 3 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown. Barkley, 7 catches, 51 yards and a touchdown. And then, of course, you go down here to Michael Gallup, 5 catches, 28 yards and a touchdown. And Blake Jarwin for the Cowboys had 2 catches and 9 yards with a touchdown. So a big win there for the Dallas Cowboys there. Now defensively, Ogletree led the game with 16 tackles, followed by Xavier Woods, our free safety, with 10 tackles, 8 of which were solo, 2 assists, and 1 was for a loss. We're going to look who had the most tackles for a loss in the game, and it was Jalen Smith, 3 tackles for a loss, followed by Thomas and Golden. No picks in the game overall. And now we're going to go look down here at the forced fumbles. He had 3 by Ogletree, who was just torching us out there at linebacker. 1 from Smith, 1 from Awuzie, 1 from Lawrence the second, and then 1 from Jenkins. So overall, pretty good stuff there from the game. But we're going to go ahead and fast forward and see how the week went for every team around the league as we progress here to week 2. So looking at the returning from injuries numbers, we are seeing that George I don't know how to say his name, Aloka. He's back from injury now as our starting safety. So Jeff Heath will get to go sit on the pine a little bit there. So George is in now, back as a starter for us. We're looking forward now, looking at the weekly players of the game. You had Ogletree for the Giants, who was the player of the game with those 16 tackles. And then for the NFC offense, of course, Dak Prescott, 26 of 32, 339 yards, 5 touchdowns. And he was sacked 4 times, but he had 1 fumble. So that's our players of the week there for the NFC. As we now move on over here, we're going to look at the news around the league. You see the Cowboys getting it done there. The most powerful man in football, once considered to be the U.S. Olympic squad, a weightlifter, Drew Henry, is now considering his strength and energy into football as a left tackle at the University of Arkansas. So that's somebody that will be coming into the league as a rookie, keeping that in mind for offensive linemen. The Cowboys are talking about injuries. See Larry Fitzgerald, they're talking about him out there. Jason Witten being back, they're talking about him a little bit. So some different news coming around the league there. The top stories. Ben Roethlisberger was the offensive player of the week for the AFC. And some different things there. So let's take a look at the standings and the stats. So the standings right now as we enter into week 2, the Packers, Jaguars, Cowboys, Falcons, all these teams want to know. We're going to go take it division by division. So Browns and Steelers, Ravens, Bengals all win their opening games, 1-0 to start their seasons. We can look at the South, the Jaguars, the only team out of the South to win their game, and the Texans, Colts, and Titans all fall in week 1. And then the East, you had the Jets winning the first game, the Dolphins, Patriots, and the Bills all losing. The Patriots surprising me there with a 38-31 loss. Now looking at the AFC West, you had the Broncos and Chargers with wins, the Chiefs and Raiders with losses. As we move now to the NFC North, the Packers win, the Lions, Vikings, and Bears all lose. And the NFC South, you had the Falcons, Buccaneers, and Saints all with the wins, and the Panthers with their sole loss to open up their season. Now the East, the Cowboys and Redskins win their Week 1 games, and the Eagles and Giants fail to pick up their first win, now 0-1. And the Rams and Cardinals both 1-0. Seahawks and 49ers 0-1. All right, so let's go now look at the stats of the season right now. You see, for the NFL in general, let's go look at the league leaders through the first week. So the top guy through yardage right now is Tom Brady. He had 407 yards passing, followed by Phillip Rivers, Josh Allen, Eli Manning, Andrew Luck, Dak Prescott, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Deshaun Watson. Looking at those numbers there, you had for the touchdown leaders, Dak Prescott and Ben Roethlisberger, the only two that had 5 or more. Both had 5 touchdowns and no picks. Garoppolo, Foles, Breeze, and Matt Ryan all had 4, but Garoppolo did throw 3 picks with a 55 completion percentage, so not a very good number there. Looking at who has the best rush stats here, Zeke, of course, 24 attempts, and the yardage goes to him with 163 yards. He was the leading rusher through week 1, followed by Le'Veon Bell for the Jets, Adrian Peterson over there in the Redskins, McCaffrey, Gurley the second, Martin, and Smith, who had the most rushing touchdowns. It went to Todd Gurley, 2 touchdowns on the ground, followed by Marlon Mack of the Indianapolis Colts. And then, of course, we go to the receiving numbers here. You had Jarvis Landry with 157 yards through the air receiving with 10 catches, leading the way for the NFL, followed by Emmanuel Sanders, T.Y. Hilton, Demaryius Thomas. You got Willie Snead, Mike Evans, and Dante Pettis in the top right there. For the receiving touchdowns, it goes to Marquise Lee, who has 3, tied with Juju Smith-Schuster, 3 to start the first season. Again, Schuster, look at that average right there. He had 4 catches for 65 yards, but of those 4 catches, 3 of them were taken to the house for a touchdown. Absolutely outstanding numbers there from these young guys getting their season started. As we now move to the defensive side, the league leader in tackles, of course, Alec Ogletree with 16. Absolutely outstanding numbers there. Tackles for loss goes to Avonte Maddox with 3, tied with a slew of players with 3. For the top pick guy, Cody Davis leads the league with 2 interceptions through week 1 out of Texas Tech. Great numbers to see from him there. And then let's see if anybody had any touchdowns through week 1. Any touchdowns? None. So no touchdowns on that area, but that is where we see the stats here through week 1. Right now, the Cowboys looking forward to week 2 as we go on the road and get ready to play the Washington Redskins. Both of these teams are 1-0. Right now, we're looking at the improved team stats. They say for the Cowboys, our team needs they're saying mainly we're B for quarterback depth. We're A there. So fullback's still a really bad spot for us overall. Wide receiver, we're an A-. So anywhere where we're seeing yellow is really an area. So left guard, we have Connor Williams right there, 22 years old. He's young, 71 overall. We can improve there if we need to. Then moving on now to the right tackle, you have Collins there at 76 overall, leading the way for the Dallas Cowboys. Then, of course, on defense, our defensive tackles, Malik Collins, Christian Covington, Antoine Woods, and Tristan Hill. And then moving on elsewhere, we're pretty good overall. I mean, we got Joe Thomas is our linebacker too, but we don't ever worry about that position too much. So the Cowboys are pretty stout through and through. Looking at the complete roster that we have set up right now, finances wise, we're in a pretty good spot as we look at our owner goals. We have to win a Super Bowl, and they want us to, of course, one Super Bowl loss, one Super Bowl win. That's kind of the goals right there. I don't know why we'd want a Super Bowl loss. That's a weird goal to have, but whatever. Some media questions. Do we have any questions? No, because no more media questions right now for us. We're looking at financing right now. The Cowboys, we're gaining in all these categories right now. Being a high market team that the Cowboys are, I don't anticipate that ever being an issue at all. To looking at fan happiness, we are 11th in fan happiness, 3rd in popularity, 1st in market size and roster. So some of the areas we're struggling at, of course, concession prices, merchandise prices, and ticket prices are a little bit high, but we're not going to worry about that too much just yet. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I thank you all so much for watching. I apologize for my dog barking at the close of this little episode here. If you enjoyed this post-game recap of week 1, leave a thumbs up, comment down below, hit that notification bell, and feel free to subscribe, and look forward to more Madden coming to you soon here on the channel as we look forward to week 2 at FedEx Field against the Washington Redskins, a battle of the 1-0 Cowboys and Redskins. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you back here in the next video. Y'all take it easy.